So there's been a lot of debate recently in the Pokemon Go universe, mostly surrounding who the best shiny Psystrike Mewtwo counters are. Some people think it's Tyranitar still, but they're fools, right? It's actually Hydreigon. No, wait, those are dark types. That thing's got Focus Blast. It's actually Giratina. Well, I'm going to learn you guys up on an unsung hero of the Mewtwo debate, and that is Deoxys Attack Forme. Now, I know some of you are sitting at home going, Ryan Swag, PokeBattler says Deoxys Attack Forme is bad. PokeBattler says no. Well, I'm going to learn you guys up on something that PokeBattler is not telling you about, and that is Peak Lead DPS. Now, longtime subscribers of SwagTips already know about Peak Lead DPS. I've been talking about this ever since Blizzard Kyogre first came out. So, in that vein, if you haven't subscribed to me already, then maybe you should, and you'll get these pro tips sooner rather than later. At any rate, Peak Lead DPS, for those of you that aren't aware. When you look at a PokeBattler simulation, or any of the 100 of infographics out there that just rip PokeBattler simulations and then make a graphic out of it, you are looking at the average result of thousands of results. The average. You're not seeing their highest high, you're not seeing their lowest low, and you're not seeing how often their highest high or their lowest lows happen, or what circumstances surround them meeting their higher DPS or lower DPS. Now, I'd say for the most part, that is perfectly fine, because, I mean, how are we supposed to guesstimate all this stuff mid-battle? Well, with Peak Lead DPS, you don't have to. The very beginning of a raid fight is the most unique compared to any other part of the raid battle. Not just because the raid boss has 0 energy, but because the raid boss is forced to do 2 fast moves before taking another action. As a result, the very beginning of the fight has the most repeatable set of circumstances in the entire raid, which means that if something were to perform exceptionally well there, it's going to perform exceptionally well there very often, such as Deoxys Attack Forme. So you can see here on my graph, very cluttered right now. If you want a more clean version of this graph, subscribe to SwagTips. I will have a shiny Psystrike Mewtwo counter guide video up tomorrow that has cute little pictures on this, makes it very easy to read, and goes over all the counters to the Mewtwo fight, not just this fancy Deoxys nonsense. Well, directing your attention to the very top left corner of the graph, you will see Deoxys Attack Lead and Gengar Lick Lead. These Pokemon are 2 Pokemon that perform exceptionally well all the time in the lead slot against the Mewtwo Raid. As a result, if you have a Deoxys Attack Forme, I suggest powering that baby all the way up. And if you don't have a Deoxys Attack Forme, well then get your Lick Gengar and power it all the way up. And then put it in the lead slot, because in the lead slot of that fight, the Shiny Mewtwo fight that we're all fighting, and nearly any other Psychic type raid boss that you will fight, most often than not, they will perform exceptionally well in the lead slot, specifically. And why would you want to do that? Because they perform the best out of any other Pokemon in that circumstance, and they perform well consistently in that circumstance. Y'all are out there powering up tons of Tyranitars and tons of Giratina origin forms like it's nothing. All you need is just one of these Pokemon, specifically for the lead slot. That's it. Only one. I'm not telling you to power up like 20 Deoxys Attack Formes, just one for this one specific role that it's extremely good at. Now, longtime subscribers of SwagTips might be a little bit confused. Ryan Swag, you never really tell us to max out a Pokemon. You're always focused on break points and bulk points and all that. Well, the reason why you want to max out Deoxys Attack Forme is because it needs that bulk in order to perform this well in the lead slot. If you're slouching on the bulk, then you might faint before you actually get off the Dark Pulse, and well, that would be silly. So I'm shooting at around level 39, and if you're at level 39, you may as well max it anyways. Now, if you don't have the right IVs for an attack Deoxys, or you don't want to power up an attack Deoxys, the Lick Gengar, which is also an exclusive Gengar Raid Day move, so if you don't have it, well then you're probably not going to get it. At any rate, Gengar has a little bit more leeway. With Gengar, you just have to make sure that you have more than 118 HP. You might want to power it up a little bit more if you're unsure to get some wiggle room in there, but Gengar is a little bit more forgiving compared to Deoxys. So Lick Gengar also has this lead peak DPS swag going on as well. The reason why I focus on Deoxys Attack Forme in this video is because, well, obviously he does it better. Look at the graph. Now, if you're an unfortunate soul out there, you don't have a Lick Gengar and you don't have a Attack Forme Deoxys, or you don't want to power one up, Well, yeah, don't worry about it, man. You won't have a Pokemon that's doing crazy good in the Peak Lead DPS situation, but like Tyranitar, Hydreigon, Giratina Origin Form, Chandelure, and all sorts of other Pokemon are really good at beating down Mewtwo. You're not going to be like a loser or anything. Now you might be sitting at home thinking, Ryan Swag, why would I want to even do this? What does it even matter? We've been beating this guy with our Tyranitar gang and our Giratina Origin Forms like it's nothing already. Well, if you participate in this madness and you have the good Peak Lead DPS Pokemon, well, then you may potentiate your ability to get more damage balls from the raid, or you might potentiate your team getting the team bonus from the raid. So that can add up pretty easily. On top of that, it is just one Pokemon I'm asking you to power up. I'm not telling you to power up several of them, just one. And that's it. That's all I gotta say about the Deoxys Attack Forme. If you got any questions on this content, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you want a more complete Mewtwo Counter Guide, I do have that coming out tomorrow, so make sure to subscribe to SwagTips, and you will get a much more pretty to look at graph, much more understandable, and I'll cover even more counters with some great details on them as well. So subscribe if you want that info. At any rate, take care guys, I'm out of here. Can you guys imagine being in 2019 and not even subscribed to SwagTips? It's madness.